Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to Card Making Project 577. Today we're going to make a gorgeous card using our Anna Griffin supplies, and it's all about positional die cutting. Now, we've done this before. It's a great technique whether you're a new crafter or an advanced crafter. We're going to use our Anna Griffin papers and die cut into them and make layers with a shadow frame and base layer, and we're going to positional die cut the same pattern as a base layer, and it's going to build up into a three-dimensional card. Now, I think this is a good one for using up if you've got any flowers left over from any of your card making kits, something like that, and it will make you look at your papers slightly differently, especially those pattern papers, because I know some of you struggle as to what to do with them, and I think this is a great method of using them. Now, I've used some layers for mine on card fronts. However, if you've got pattern paper and you cut into the same place on a couple of sheets to die cut, you would be able to use this method and it would work equally as well, because it is about the position of the dies. Everything I do use I should put in a detailed list on my blog, so please be sure to check it out. There's always lots of photos on there, both inside and outside of the card. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notifications of when new videos are available. And you can always find me on Facebook, on Twitter, and my personal favourite, Instagram and Pinterest as well. And I do pin everything that I make to give you ideas. There's photos on there, and there's thousands and thousands of ideas on Pinterest. So without further ado, please sit back, relax, and let's have a look at today's gorgeous project. So for today's tutorial, we're going to be using the Anna Griffin Lace Edge Cut and Emboss dies. We're going to be using this particular die. We're going to use both the ornate layer and the shadow layer. We're also going to be using the Anna Griffin Compendium die set. And this is the Compendium die set, the original, for the 7x5 cards. We're going to be using the nesting oval dies. Now, I know from my friends in the UK we haven't had this set yet. You would be able to substitute the oval nesting dies with any of your oval nesting dies that you do have. So the first thing that we're going to need is our base card. This is a 7x5 inch card, and I want to give you perspective at home of the size of the card. So to do that, this is my cardometer. It's something I've designed specifically to be able to show you at home the size of the card that we use. The largest of the sizes is the A4, then we go down to the A5, and I know from my friends across the pond it's a different number. I think it's A3, I'm not sure. You don't have to quote me, but it's definitely the A4 folded in half. Then we go down to the 7x5. That's the size that we're going to use. Then we have the A6, which is the A5 folded in half. Again, for my friends across the pond, it's a different number. Then we go in half again and down to the ATC. So that just kind of gives you an idea of the size that we're creating of the card. So the card blank that I'm using is an ivory card blank, and it is 7x5, and I've already added my name on the back using the handmade by stamp. I'm trying to say sticker. One of the rubber stamps from Anna Griffin in the handmade by set. So I'm just going to use my bone folder to make sure that I've got a nice sharp crease along the edge of the card, because that makes it nice and professional looking when it stands up. Now, this tutorial is kind of all about patterns and placement. We've touched on it previous times, and I think this is a good one for somebody who is not quite a beginner, but they want to dip their toe into something a little bit more advanced. However, it's not difficult. So if you are a new crafter and you do have the items that we're going to use, or you know, items that are frame dies with shadow layers, you would be able to do this as well. So the first thing that we need for the inside of our card is one of the gorgeous 7x5 lovely layers. Now, this card is going to be blue toned, and I've chosen one of the lovely layers, and I've taken just a pair of scissors to the edge. Now I haven't been really neat with it. I've just kind of followed the pattern, and you don't have to be, you know, worrying too much about it not having a full scalloped edge or it being, you know, an edge that you would cut with a die. Just follow the pattern along because we want it to fit inside our card. So I've trimmed it down, I've got flat tape on the back of it, and I'm just going to press it into the centre of our card. Next, from the actual 7x5 pretty pattern card bases from Anna Griffin, I've taken one of the smaller cards. They were in, I think it was 6x4 as well, and I've trimmed the outside of the lace design and I've taken away the rest of the card, so I've made it into kind of like a card topper. But this is the part that for the centre that we would use to write on. I've got it on flat tape and I'm just going to add it into the middle of our card like that. So you can see already we've mixed patterns and they still work because of the gorgeous colouring and the tones and just the way that we've laid them together. Next, I've taken some flower stickers. Now these could be any flower stickers that you have. I've just taken a small rose sticker, peel the back away, and I'm going to just pop it towards the bottom of our insert. And then I've taken one of the favourite sentiment stickers and I've peeled the back of it away. Now for the front we're going to use the entire sticker, but you can see how I've just taken very carefully the top of the sticker away without the 3D layer. And once I've peeled the back off, I've just put flat tape on the back, and then I'm going to position this just underneath our flower a little bit, so the flower kind of like holds the sentiment sticker without holding it. It just kind of overlaps it a little bit. And I can press that down, and that is our insert complete. Very pretty and a very simple insert. You can see how it all matches perfectly, and it's going to be gorgeous with our outside. So now we can turn our attention to the outside. I'm just going to use my bone folder again to make sure I've still got that nice sharp crease. And for the outside of the card, I'm going to start with a full layer. And this is the same layer style as we've used for the inside, but I haven't cut this down. I haven't trimmed it. I've left it in its entirety. I've got flat tape on the back, so I can peel that away. And then I'm turning my card round so I can see, and I'm simply going to pop that over the front of the card and press it down. So now our card looks like it's actually made like that. Very pretty. Our next layer is taken from the Pretty Pattern card blanks, and this is the same lace design that we've used for the inside, but on the 7x5 size. I've trimmed it down so that it's just the lace, and I've taken the back of the card away, and we're actually going to use the back of the card for our next layer, so I'm not wasting anything. I've got 3D foam on the back, and I'm simply going to position that over the top of our previous layer. Press that down. Now my next layer is from the lace embossed dies, and this is the shadow layer. I've got 3D foam on the back. You can see it's the back of the card because that's the little handmade die that's on the back of the card. So I'm not wasting the bit I've taken away. And I'm just going to position that just on top of our previous layer. Now I'm not pressing it down quite yet because our next layer is cut from the same as the previous patterned layer from the Pretty Pattern card blanks. and I've taken another one of the cards and I've die cut the lace emboss and cut folders, the lace cut and emboss folder dies, and I've just positioned it so that the pattern, as I lay that down, should match up with our pattern on our previous layer. So once I'm happy with the way that it looks, I can press it all down. Now at home you will be able to look over the top of your card, but I can't because I'm looking across at it rather than down, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping that they all match up, and I think if I just tweak that a little bit, that might match a little bit better. We've done this technique many times before for pattern matching on layers and positional die cutting, and it's such a great technique it is. You can use it with so many different things. Next, I've cut a circle of cardstock, and this could be any cardstock that you have, and I've just used the compendium nesting ovals just to cut a kind of like frame. I've got this on flat tape. As I say, this could be any cardstock you have, and the oval is the same oval size that I've cut into the previous layer. I did forget to mention this, I'm sorry. So I've cut an oval out of the previous patterned layer in the centre, and so this oval is going to fit perfectly over the top of our previous oval. Next, again another oval, and this time instead of a plainer paper or cardstock, I've used a pattern cardstock. This could be any cardstock that you have, and this was on 3D foam on the back, and I'm just going to position that over the top of our previous layer. So you can see we've built up kind of like an aperture centre for our card. Next, I've taken some gorgeous flowers. Now these could be flowers that you've had in an old card making kit. I've got 3D foam on the back of mine. Now you can see there's quite a lot of foam, there's quite a lot of height, but I need that for the centre of the card where we've built the layers up. And I'm simply going to position this through the centre, and you can see that it stands proud of those ovals, and that's what we want. We want some nice high layers through the centre. Next, we've got our favourite sentiment sticker, like we've used for the centre, and I've actually got 3D foam on parts of mine, and I'm just going to position it at the bottom of our flower like that, and then I can finish the card off with a gorgeous dark blue bow. That was on 3D foam, and that is our card finished. Now it's a great technique that you could use in so many of your projects. It adds lots of layers, lots of height. You would still, I think, be able to fit this in a normal envelope. If not, maybe go for one of the big fat mailers. I do get messages about creating 3D cards for the mailers. You know what? You could make any of your cards into 3D. Just add extra foam, give it the height, add an extra shadow layer, and that one is just, there's so many layers on there, and it's just so beautiful. And the inside matches perfectly to the outside, and it's going to stand proud, definitely a mantelpiece pleaser and a keeper, and lots of room for your message as well. You know, obviously you're not going to write an essay, but it's just such a beautiful card, and I love the colouring. The pastel blues with the pastels of the flowers, it just all works so well. Please check my blog for lots of photos, because I'll take photos of both the inside and the outside of the card, and there's the items that I've used, there's a list on there, and there's so many other projects as well. Please give me the thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. Let me know. You can always comment on YouTube or you can always comment on Facebook. I do like hearing from you. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.